All right, we're recording to the cloud right now, and the live is preparing. So let's just bear with me for a second, guys. All right. So this is gonna be I'm gonna do a continuation today of our weekly meetings, of our weekly Sabbath meetings, which not Sabbath meetings, our weekly Sabbath readings, which I've kind of put on to a hold. Um, and we're going to be continuing here with the chapter by chapter, book by book Torah readings here. So we're going to be going to Leviticus 22. Okay, so this is going to be our weekly weekly Torah readings. Okay, and I'm going to try something here. This should work. There's a lot of background noise in my area, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put earbuds in here. Of course, that had to fall out. Of course, that had to fall out. Of course, because I have to be stupid. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, and I'll be giving you guys links, um, so that. All right. All right. Okay. Hold on. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see me. Hold on a second. It's a little too dark in here. Hold on a second. I'm gonna try something. Let's get some light in here. All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna continue our tour readings, like I said before. Now we are going to be going to, since we left off at Leviticus 22 last time. We're going to be going to, not 22. We left off at Leviticus 21. So on my word software, I'm going to be um, doing Leviticus 22. So let me get to my word software here. I got way too many things open here. This is part of the issue. Uh, and I will be doing a short tutorial. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Afterwards on how to install this. Okay. So, um, let's see here. We're gonna go to the word software, which I recommend anyone that does a lot of studying to get either this or eSword. Both of them are great programs. This thing is taking a little longer than usual. There we go. Come on. All right. So once my word software opens up, I can now put it on share screen. All right. And let's see here. All right. Here we go. So, all right, we got Leviticus. This is an interesting new setup they have here. This got interesting. I was not expecting this. So they have the books on the left side now. It's kind of interesting. Okay. Leviticus. 22. Like we always do here, I'm going to have the Bretons on the left, Unkalos on the right. All right. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, speak to Aaron, to his sons, and let them take heed concerning the set apart things of the children of Yasharal, Israel. So they shall not profane my set apart name in any of the things which they set apart to me. I am Yahuwah. Okay. All right. Say to them, every man throughout your generations, whoever of all your seed shall approach to the set apart things whatsoever the children of Yasharal set apart to Yahuwah, while his uncleanness is upon him, that soul shall be cut off from me. I am Yahuwah your Elohim. See, this is why obviously they could not be unclean and keep the Passover, and you can find that in the book of Numbers. Okay. There's actually a specific chapter in the book of Numbers where they had to be ceremonially clean to keep the Passover. Okay. Yep. Let's see here. But I think specifically here, to be honest, is probably talking about since the previous verse is talking about Aaron and his sons, I would say the safe context here is that it's talking about the Levites specifically. So I don't know. I would have to look into scripture more, but I would think all Israelites have to be clean to take the Passover, but maybe it was only the Levites since they're the ones offering the lamb. I don't know. That I don't want to make an assumption without any scriptures. So, I'll just leave that up. I'll leave that up to open to study more out whether it's only for Levites or for all Israelites. So anyway, moving on. And the man of the seed of Aaron the priest, if he should have leprosy or issue of the reins, shall not eat of the set apart things until he be cleansed. And he that touches any uncleanness of a dead body, or the man whose seed of copulation shall have gone out from him. Okay, so this is talking about ceremonially being unclean by knowing a woman, knowing your wife, seed coming out from you. Okay. And obviously specifically talking about any man of the seed of Aaron, okay, has leprosy, any type of skin disease, issue of reins, any type of flow, okay, cannot eat of the set apart things when they are ceremoniously unclean. Okay, verse 5 here. Or whosoever shall touch any unclean reptile, that's interesting, which will defile him, or a man whereby he shall defile him according to all his uncleanness. So obviously, it's making it very clear that you're not to touch the body of a reptile. Reptiles are unclean in general. Okay. And you can find that also in Leviticus chapter 11. We've already done that in our chapter by chapter readings, but if you want some context, go to Leviticus chapter 11. You can't touch, it is a sin to touch the dead body of any unclean animal, so including reptiles, obviously. Okay, verse 6. Whatsoever soul shall touch them shall be unclean until evening. He shall not eat of the set apart things unless he bathe his body in water. So obviously he's got to bathe his body in water so that he is clean at sunset, see, until evening. Okay, then he could eat of the set apart things, as verse 6 is saying here. And the sun go down. This is how we know it's evening, what evening is right here, guys. See, okay, and the sun going down, then he shall be clean, and then shall he eat of all the set apart things, for they are his bread. Okay, meaning they are his food. Okay, yeah, see, okay. He shall not eat that which dies of itself, which if you go to other scriptures in the Torah, I don't have them in front of me right now, but there are scriptures in like Deuteronomy and other places and in other chapters of Leviticus where it's not just the priest. So I know a lot of people say, well, it's just for the priest not to eat of something that dies of itself. No, it's for every Israelite. You are not to eat of something that dies of itself. Doesn't matter if you're a Levite or not. So just because this is talking about Levites here, don't get it confused that it's only for Levites. This commandment here is for all Israelites, all believers, okay? Because it says, you shall not eat anything that's been torn by beast or anything that's died of itself, because if you do, you would be polluted by them. That's why it says, so that he should be polluted by them. I am Yahuwah, okay? And they shall keep my ordinances, that they do not bear lawlessness because of them and die because of them. If they shall profane them, I am Yahuwah Elohim, that sets them apart. Okay, so they shall, it says, they do not bear the law. They should keep my commandments so they do not bear their iniquity. Okay, they do not bear lawlessness because of them, meaning by sinning against Yahuwah, we would have to bear our own lawlessness. If they shall profane them, well, actually, let me correct myself here. In this context, is probably referring to if the Levite sins, then they have to bear their own lawlessness, because at this point in the Levitical priesthood, they're actually intercessors. So yeah, Yahuwah's actually, it seems like Yahuwah is making a distinction here, that it's even more important for the Levites not to transgress his Torah. So let's see here. And no stranger shall eat the set apart things, one that sojourns with a priest or a hired servant shall not eat the set apart things. Okay. So a hired servant nor someone that is a grafted in person cannot eat of the sacrifices. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Okay. So stranger. Now, in this context, actually, let me correct myself. This stranger is probably talking about a Gentile who's not joined to the Father, to the Son, not joined to Yahuwah, not joined to Yahusha. This is probably talking about in context like a unbelieving stranger. So let me see here. I was at verse 10 here. And one that lives with a priest, a hired servant. So I guess a stranger that lives with a priest shall not eat of it, and a hired servant shall not eat of these offerings. Okay. But if a priest should have a soul purchase for money, he shall eat of his bread, and they that are born in his house, they shall also eat of his bread. So if he actually purchases someone, like if someone becomes his servant and he actually purchases them like a slave, basically. Okay. Okay. And if a daughter, let's see here. Okay. And if the daughter of a priest should marry a stranger, she shall not eat of the offerings of set apart place. Yeah, because she's no longer part of her father's house, according to Torah. So she's no longer technically, part of that Levite household. So yeah, she wouldn't be able to eat of the set apart things, the offerings of the set apart place anymore. But notice it says that she marries a stranger. So that the only thing that would make sense here is if it's talking about she married a non-natural born Israelite, like an Israelite that's grafted in, she can't eat of the offerings of her father's house anymore because she's not in her father's house. Okay. All right. And if the daughter of priest should be a widow or put away or has no seed, meaning no children, she shall return to her father's house as in her youth. She shall eat of her father's bread, but no stranger shall eat of it. So we just see here, the context here is if she is a widow, she has a deceased husband, or she's put away. So technically, she could be married to someone else, but if she's put away and she's not under their roof and goes back to her father's roof, she can eat of the set apart things again. Okay. But again, it makes an example here. No stranger shall eat of it. And the man who shall ignorantly eat set apart things shall add the fifth part to it and give the set apart thing to the priest. Okay. And they shall not profane the set apart things of the children of Yasharal, which they offer to Yahuwah. So should they bring upon themselves the lawlessness of trespass in their eating their set apart things, for I am Yahuwah that sets them apart. Okay. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to Aaron, to his sons, and to all the congregation of Yasharal. Notice how it says congregation, not church. Congregation, okay? And actually, let me stop there at verse 18. I want to look at the e-sword here to see if I can prove something here. Um, let's see. Let's go to Leviticus 22:18, which we just stopped at, right? So, all right. Hold on. And my e-sword has been really messing up lately. I don't know why it does that. Okay. Shouldn't be doing that. All right, synagogue, never mind. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. There is a word ecclesia that is sometimes translated as congregation in the Greek New Testament. So I just wanted to see if it was there in the Septuagint. Never mind. It actually comes from the Hebrew synagogue, which is actually interesting. So what's interesting about that is congregation has nothing to do with a building. So it's kind of interesting that the Hebrew word synagogue is just referring to a gathering of people. So that's interesting. Anyway, all the congregation of Yasharal, and you shall say to them, any man of the children of Yasharal, or of the strangers that abide among them in Yasharal, who shall offer his gifts according to all their confession, according to all their choice, whatsoever they may bring to Yahuwah for burnt offerings. Your free will offerings shall be males without blemish. That points to Yahusha right there, okay, without blemish of the herds, or of the sheep, or of the goats. They shall not bring to Yahuwah anything that has a blemish, okay. And what's interesting, if I'm not mistaken, the same Hebrew word here for blemish is actually it's the same Hebrew word for Noah. When it says perfect in his generations, it would have actually been more accurate from the Hebrew to say that he had no blemish in his generations, and it's actually referring to the same thing here, like a physical blemish. Okay, like a genetic blemish. If you actually look at the Hebrew word tamim, that's what it actually means. The Hebrew word tamim is used a lot of the times for the offerings as has no blemish on it. You know, there's nothing wrong with the animal. There's no blemish on the animal, so on and so forth. So okay. And whatsoever man shall offer a peace offering to Yahuwah, discharging a vow or in the way of free will offering, or an offering in your feasts, or of the herds, or of the sheep, it shall be without blemish for acceptance. There shall be no blemish in it. Okay. Okay. So it's very important that all their offerings, and exclusively here referring to the festival offerings, the free will offerings, the peace offerings, they must be of the herds or the sheep, and there shall be no blemish in it. Okay. One that is blind, broken, or has its tongue cut off, or is troubled with warts, or has a malignant ulcer, or tetters, they shall not offer these to Yahuwah, neither shall you offer any of them for a burnt offering on the altar of Yahuwah. And a calf or the sheep with the ears cut off, or that has lost its tail, you shall slay them for yourself, but they shall not be acceptable for your vow. Meaning you can eat an animal that has a blemish as food, you just can't offer it as a sacrifice. Okay, especially not for a vow there. Um, that which has broken testicles or is crushed or jelt or mutilated, you shall not offer them to Yahuwah, neither shall you sacrifice them upon your land. Notice how it says it on your land. You shall not sacrifice them upon your land. Okay. The United States of America is not our land. Okay. That's very important here. In the Levitical priesthood, they could only sacrifice on the land that Yahuwah gave them. They could not sacrifice in among the Gentiles. Okay. Very important to understand. Okay. Neither shall you offer the gifts of your Elohim of all these things by the hand of a stranger, because there is corruption in them, a blemish in them. These shall not be acceptable for you. So, meaning you can't have a unconverted stranger, a Gentile who has not believed in Messiah, basically a heathen, a pagan, you could say, sojourner passing by, giving you an animal to sacrifice to Yahuwah. You can't do that. It's a sin. You can't take animals from the Gentiles. Okay. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, as for a calf or a sheep or a goat, when it is born, then shall it be 7 days under its mother. And on the 8th day they shall be acceptable for sacrifices, a burnt offering to Yahuwah. Okay. And a bullock and a ewe, it, excuse me, and a bullock and a ewe, and it and its young you shall not kill in 1 day. Okay, so basically the bullock and its young you cannot kill in 1 day. Okay. You're not to kill them both in 1 day. And if you should offer a sacrifice, a vow of rejoicing to Yahuwah, you shall offer it as to be accepted for you. And obviously today in the Melchizedek priesthood, we the offerings by association have to be spiritualized in the Melchizedek priesthood with the only sacrifice in the Melchizedek priesthood are, to my recollection, are literally offerings of praise. So we can rejoice before you who would give, you know, the bulls of our lips without blemish. I mean, if we were to spiritualize this, that's all we can really do in a Melchizedek priesthood. Okay, so neither shall you offer the gifts of your Elohim of all these things by the hand of a stranger. Okay, we already talked about that. Okay. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, calf or sheep or goat. As for a calf or sheep or goat, when it is born, then shall it be 7 days. Okay, we just read that 7 days under its mother. Okay, if you should offer sacrifice, a vow of rejoicing to Yahuwah, you shall offer it as to be accepted for you. In the same day it shall be eaten. You shall not leave of the flesh till the morrow. I am Yahuwah. So even you could say Yahusha was even a vow offering, because the Passover is not to be left until morning. Okay. And you shall keep my commandments and do them, and you shall not profane the name of the set apart one. I will be set apart in the midst of the children of Yasharal. I am Yahuwah that sets you apart, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. What I do like about the Targum here is instead of the plural Elohim, it's actually singular. It says Aloha, so which means one mighty one singular deity. So anyway, that is Leviticus chapter 22. Thank you for tuning in to this chapter by chapter Torah reading. Please stay tuned. I'm going to try to do these every day now, but I'm going to end the recording right now, and I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on this new platform that I promised to do a tutorial for my brothers and sisters how to use. It's called Rain Central, and it's completely free. So our fellowship might be switching to that soon. So anyway, stay tuned, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.